A nice place to visit is one of the most famous and ironic episodes of The Twilight Zone. Written by Rod Serling, it explores the nature of happiness, temptation, and the surprising misery that come from getting everything one wants. The story begins with a small time criminal named Rocky Valentine. Rocky is a thief, gambler, and all around hustler who lives entirely for his own pleasure. During a police chase following a robbery, he's shot and killed. At first, Rocky doesn't realize he's dead. When he regains consciousness, he finds himself in a luxurious apartment unlike anything he's ever owned. Everything around him is beautiful, comfortable, and seemingly designed to satisfy his desires. Waiting for him is a courteous, well-dressed man named Pip. Pip informs Rocky that he's there to take care of him and ensure his happiness. Rocky is suspicious. He assumes there must be a catch, but Pip insists his only purpose is to serve. Soon Rocky discovers that incredible luck follows him wherever he goes. When he enters a casino, he wins every game. Dice always roll in his favor. Roulette wheels always land exactly where he wants. Slot machines pay out endlessly. He can never lose. He finds that money is unlimited. Any amount he wants appears instantly. Beautiful women are eager to spend time with him. Fine clothes, expensive meals, luxury apartments, and every imaginable pleasure are available without effort. At first, Rocky is ecstatic. This seems to be the greatest life imaginable. He assumes he must have somehow made it into heaven despite his less than stellar life. Days pass, then weeks, then what seems like months. Gradually, Rocky begins to notice something disturbing. Nothing is uncertain, nothing is difficult, nothing can be lost. Every game is won before it starts. Every desire is granted before it's fully formed. There are no challenges, risks, surprises, or opportunities for growth. Because success is guaranteed, success becomes meaningless. The excitement that once accompanied gambling disappears because there's no possibility of failure. The pleasure of acquiring wealth disappears because wealth requires no effort. The thrill of romance disappears because affection is automatic. Rocky becomes increasingly bored and frustrated. What initially appeared to be a paradise has become a prison of endless gratification. Finally, unable to bear it any longer, Rocky confronts Pip. Rocky tells him that he doesn't like here. He doesn't like heaven. He wants to go away because things are too easy. Things are given to him. He doesn't want that. He wants the challenge of life again. Pip looks at him and says, "You're not in heaven. You're in the other place." Sebastian Cabot was a distinguished British actor whose rich voice, imposing beard, and warm screen presence made him one of television's most memorable character actors. He's best known for playing the loyal English butler Giles French on the television series Family Affair, but his career also included notable film roles, voice acting for Disney, and the memorable appearance in The Twilight Zone. Born Charles Sebastian Thomas Cabot on July 6, 1918, in London, England, he left school at age 14 and worked a variety of jobs, including garage helper, chauffeur, valet, and even professional wrestler before finding his way into acting. He received no formal dramatic training and often joked that he learned acting by bluffing his way into roles and learning from experienced performers. During World War II, Cabot served in the British Army before resuming his acting career. Cabot began appearing in British films during the 30s and 40s before moving into larger international productions. His film credits include Kismet, The Time Machine, Ivanhoe, Johnny Tremaine. His commanding voice and dignified appearance often led to roles as authority figures, noblemen, scholars, and sophisticated villains. Cabot became a familiar face on television during the 1950s and 1960s, appearing in numerous series including Checkmate, Bonanza, Gunsmoke, and Alfred Hitchcock Presents. His greatest fame, of course, came when he was cast as Giles French in the impeccable English gentleman role on Family Affair. The role made him a household name and endeared him to millions of viewers. Cabot possessed one of the most recognizable voices in entertainment and became a favorite of Disney studios. He voiced Bagheera in The Jungle Book, Sir Ector, the narrator in The Sword and the Stone, the narrator of several Winnie the Pooh featurettes and films. His warm, cultured narration became beloved by a generation of children. In the 1970s, Cabot hosted the supernatural anthology series Ghost Story and portrayed Kris Kringle in the television adaptation of Miracle on 34th Street. He continued acting and narrating until shortly before his death. Cabot was married to Kathleen Humphreys from 1940 until his death, and they had 3 children. On August 23, 1977, he suffered a stroke at his home near Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. He died at the age of 59. Sebastian Cabot's career combined elegance, humor, and a remarkable versatility. Whether portraying devoted Mr. French on Family Affair, the mysterious Pip in The Twilight Zone, or the wise Bagheera in Jungle Book, he brought intelligence and warmth to every role. His distinctive voice and distinguished presence continue to make him one of the most beloved character actors of television's golden age. Larry Blyden was an American actor, Broadway performer, director, producer, and television game show host. Although he enjoyed success in several areas of entertainment, classic television fans best remember him for portraying the charming thief of Rocky Valentine in the Twilight Zone episode A Nice Place to Visit. He was also a Tony Award winning stage actor and the host of the syndicated version of What's My Line during the 1970s. Born Ivan Lawrence Blyden on June 23, 1925, in Houston, Texas, Blyden developed an interest in acting while still a teenager. After attending college and studying acting, including training associated with the renowned Stellar Adler School, he moved into professional theater and made his Broadway debut in 1948. Blyden became one of Broadway's most respected performers. He appeared in numerous productions and earned a Tony Award nomination for his role as Sammy Fong in the musical Flower Drum Song. His greatest stage triumph came in 1972 when he won the Tony Award for Best Featured Actor in a Musical, playing Hysterium in a revival of A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, which he also helped produce. Other notable Broadway productions included Mr. Roberts, Foxy, The Apple Tree, Absurd Person Singular. His versatility allowed him to excel in comedy, drama, and musical theater. While Broadway was his primary home, Blyden also built a successful television career. He appeared in many popular programs in the 50s and 60s, including The Twilight Zone, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, The Defenders, The Fugitive, and The Man from U.N.C.L.E. He starred in the television adaptation of What Makes Sammy Run and appeared in films such as The Bachelor Party and On a Clear Day You Can See Forever. Rocky is a small-time crook who dies during a police chase. That's what most fans will remember him by for that episode of The Twilight Zone. Because he made Rocky both likable and flawed. During the late 60s and 70s, Blyden became a familiar television personality as the host of several game shows, including Personality, The Movie Game, You're Putting Me On, and What's My Line. His wit, intelligence, and easygoing style made him a popular host. Although successful, friends later noticed that he still hoped for more opportunities in films and dramatic acting. Blyden was married to actress and dancer Carol Haney from 55 until their divorce in 62. They had 2 children together. In 1975, Blyden had just completed a pilot for a new game show called Show Offs and was preparing for another phase of his career. While vacationing in Morocco, he was seriously injured in a single car accident. Despite his surgery, he died from injuries on June 6, 1975, just 17 days before his 50th birthday. Larry Blyden was one of the most versatile entertainers of his era. Gifted stage actor, television performer, director, producer, game show host. While Broadway audiences remember his Tony Award-winning work, Twilight Zone fans continue to celebrate his portrayal of Rocky Valentine. This episode was singled out for its brazen sexual innuendo. Program practices required that Larry Blyden not refer to his girl as a broad, really stacked, even though that crudity was essential to establishing the unsavourable qualities of his character. Nor could the protagonist refer to the party as a ball, since that word had more than one meaning. In another Nice Place sequence, the voluptuous young lady, played by Barbara English, tends to Blyden's every need and then says, "Is there anything else I can do for you?" CBS's comment, "Please be certain that the girl's third speech be delivered in a sweet manner, as described." Sebastian Cabot was reluctant to dye his brunette hair and beard blonde, since the peroxide used for it would ensure that the color would remain for about 6 months. Rocky tells Mr. Pip that he wants $1 million in 5G notes, $5,000 bills. $5,000 bills were last printed in 1945, but were still in circulation in 1960. $1 million in 5G notes would be 200 individual bills. The slot machine seen here was the one used in The Fever earlier. At one point, Henry calls Mr. Pip Santa Claus. Cabot would go on to play Santa in Miracle on 34th Street in 1973. The set used in the Hall of Records is reused for the one of the remains of the library of Time Enough at Last. The episode presents Rocky's afterlife paradise with constant attention from glamorous women, but avoids depicting or referencing any sexual indulgence. This reflects the broadcast standards of early 1960s television, which required adult themes to be implied rather than shown directly. Therefore, the producers were careful not to show how a man, having beautiful women at his disposal, might take advantage of the situation to demand sexual favors, often, and therefore make the most out of that hell. When Rocky kicks the women out and slams the door, the entire wall shakes. Then, when he's trying to open the door, the wall and door frame move along with the door. He begs to be sent somewhere else, even somewhere unpleasant, because he can no longer stand this endless existence where nothing matters. Pip smiles knowingly and delivers one of the most famous lines in Twilight's own history. Rocky had assumed he was in heaven. Pip gently corrects him and says, "This isn't heaven." The horrifying realization dawns on Rocky. He's not being rewarded, he's being punished. The place he thought was paradise is actually hell. The episode ends with Rocky trapped forever in a world where every wish comes true and therefore no wish has value. The central theme is that unlimited gratification does not create happiness. Most people spend their lives imagining how wonderful it would be if every desire could be instantly fulfilled. The episode challenges this assumption. Without obstacles, achievement becomes meaningless. Without effort, rewards lose value. Without uncertainty, life loses its excitement. Rod Serling suggests that happiness depends partly on striving, not merely possessing. Rocky's misery stems from the absence of struggle. Human beings often complain about difficulties, yet challenges provide purpose and direction. Winning a difficult game feels rewarding because defeat was possible. Achieving a goal feels satisfying because the effort was required. The episode argues that adversity, while unpleasant, is an essential ingredient of a meaningful life. Many traditional depictions portray hell as a place of fire and torment and brimstone. A Nice Place to Visit presents a more psychological form of damnation. Rocky's punishment is tailored to his personality. His life was devoted to gambling, easy money, and pleasure. Therefore, his punishment is not deprivation, but excess. He receives exactly what he always wanted forever. The episode suggests that hell may consist of not suffering imposed from outside, but of being trapped by one of one's decisions. Rocky believes money and luxury are the key to happiness. His afterlife gives him unlimited wealth. Yet the more he acquires, the less satisfaction he feels. The story questions the idea that true possessions alone can provide fulfillment. Material comforts may enhance life, but they cannot substitute for purpose, accomplishment, or genuine human connection. Rocky's fate reflects the choices he made during life. He spent his years immediate gratification rather than developing deeper values. As a result, his afterlife becomes an external extension of those pursuits. The episode implies that character shapes destiny. What people choose to value may ultimately define both their happiness and their suffering. Subtle theme concerns anticipation. Often the expectation of obtaining something is more pleasurable than possessing it. The dream of success, wealth, or romance can be more exciting than the reality. Rocky's world eliminates the anticipation entirely. Every desire is fulfilled instantly. As a result, desire loses meaning. The episode suggests that longing and striving are the vital parts of the human experience. The twist works because it reverses the common assumption that paradise is simply a place where every wish is granted. Serling asks a deeper question. What if heaven is not getting everything you want? What if heaven is finding meaning, growth, and purpose? Likewise, what if hell was not pain, but endless emptiness disguised as pleasure? A Nice Place to Visit remains one of Twilight Zone's most memorable episodes because its message is universal. Nearly everyone has imagined what it would be like to win every game, possess unlimited wealth, and have every wish fulfilled. This episode daringly suggests that each life may become unbearable if this situation would occur. Its lasting lesson is that happiness comes not merely from rewards, but from the journey towards them. In Rod Serling's iconic vision, the worst punishment imaginable for a man like Rocky is not losing everything, it's getting everything he ever wanted. The Twilight Zone always had a problem for me with trying to do comedy in their episodes. Most of the episodes that did strive for a more comedic side became very weak to me. The ironic twists, the dramatic twists, the dramatic moments have always been more impressive to me. There have been some success stories, though, with comedy in the Twilight Zone. This is one of them. I found it to be pleasurable to watch. It was funny to watch him getting everything he wanted. And then at the very end, the twist of saying that this is the other place, that was the ultimate for me. I loved this episode. It was so much fun. It was so well done. And I feel sorry for Sebastian Cabot having to be blonde for that long a time because everybody knew him with the dark hair. Anyway, I give this one 5 out of 5 because it is so much fun.